I would like to call this meeting to order, January the 28th, 2021, of the Oconee County Rescue Squad Advisory Commission. It is 6 p.m. My name is Katie Smith, and I am the clerk to the County Council, and will be presiding over this meeting until the election of chairman. The first item on the agenda is the election of officers. For the election of officers, these shall be selected from among the Advisory Commission, a nomination of chairman, vice chairman, and secretary. We will start with the election of chairman. Once the chairman has been elected, he or she will take over the meeting at that point in time. So there are two options on how to complete the election. The first is a show of hands and then a verbal confirmation. The second is a ballot system where you would write down who you nominate for chairman and then sign your name at the bottom. And these will also go in the backup materials as well. So with that being said, which method do you guys prefer to go with? Do you want the ballot style or the show of hands?
I'm fine either way.
Me too, either way.
So you, show of hands, would that be good? Okay, all right. So for a show of hands, we need a nomination to be chairman. If a second person is nominated, then we will vote on the members in order that they are nominated. If the first person nominated gets the majority of the votes, then that member will become the chairman and they will take over the meeting. If that person does not get the majority of the votes, then we will go to the second person. Are there any nominations for chairman?
Michael Smith will nominate Steve Zahn.
Okay. Any other nominations? No? Okay. With that being said, all in favor of nominating Steve Zahn? Okay. All right. All right. Congratulations, Commissioner Zahn, and I'll let you take over.
Thank you.
Okay, did Eric have anything?
Oh, Eric's calling.
Oh, he wasn't here yet, sorry.
Hello? Eric?
Hello, Stephen. How are you?
Let me give you over to the county girl. Lady, excuse me.
Hi, County Lady.
Hi, I'm Katie.
Hi, Katie. I'm Eric.
All right, Eric, the meeting started and they elected me commissioner. So that's where we stand right now. I know you have something to do, so you have to leave us quickly. So would you like to give your report as a representative?
Okay. Rescue 22. We had our monthly meeting in January. I was not present because I am actually out of town in Florida. At this point, we have two potential new members, but they were reticent starting until the COVID crisis has passed as far as training. So we're still going to work on that. We've lost a couple of responders. So, again, our big thing now is recruiting. So we're going to try to ramp that up. And Steve, like I said, you and I talked about some of the strategies and where what our plans are going to be for the future as we establish our role with Rescue 22. So that's basically it. We're a bit in limbo.
Okay, would you like me at the proper time to bring everyone up to date what we spoke about today?
Yeah, that would be fine. To get any ideas anybody has or concerns or advice, I'd be happy to listen.
Okay, thank you, Eric.
Thanks, Steve.
Anyone have any questions? All right, if you want to go along and do what you need to do, thank you for calling in.
Okay, and you have got my votes. I talked with Mike Carroll a little earlier and gave him my opinions on the officers' positions.
Okay.
Commissioner Spragus, can you say on the record who you voted for or who you would like to vote for?
Well, are there official nominees right now?
Yes, right now, Commissioner Zahn was nominated, and it was a 4-0 vote for him to be the chairman.
Make it a 5-0 vote.
Okay, we will certainly do that. Thank you.
Does he need to stand by for the other positions to vote, or
If you can, that would be great.
can you stand by for another 5 or 10 minutes at the most?
Yeah, I have till about quarter after.
Okay. Your wife's giving you that much leeway?
The next
That's
one will
a
be
short
election of
leash,
vice
Steve.
chair.
Okay.
It should just be a couple of minutes, because you're going right into vice chair now.
Pardon me?
You're gonna nominate the vice chair now, so it'll just
Right.
be a few minutes
Yeah.
from him.
Okay, do we have any nominations for vice chair?
I would nominate Michael Smith.
Okay. Are there any other nominations for vice chair? Okay. Show of hands and verbally, or just show of hands, if you want to vote for Michael Smith for vice chair? And,
See my hand?
yeah, we see your hand.
Can he just do a confirmation, just for the record?
Just confirm that that's what your vote is, would you? Eric?
I'm voted for Michael Smith for vice chair.
Okay. And now we have secretary. Are there any nominations for secretary? All right, I nominate the lady to my right,
Tammy.
Tammy Wilbanks. Are there any other nominations? Okay. Would everyone show by raise of hands if you want to vote for Tammy? Eric,
You can
how does
vote
that sound?
Voice vote is I agree with voting for Tammy for secretary.
Okay. We can let him go now, right?
I think so, yeah. Is that all he
Yes.
needed to do?
Okay. Eric, thank you very much. We appreciate you calling in.
It's my pleasure, and I'll have to do it next month and in March also, so keep me in the loop on anything I need to know, okay?
I will, you know me.
Thanks, man. Bye.
Okay, see ya. That worked pretty good. That was better than Travis last month. Okay. So we have done the elections. Approval of the calendar. You all got a copy of the calendar for future meetings for this year? Any problems that you're aware of with any of these?
Some of them can be changed if need be, we can cancel them or reschedule them at will.
Some of them will be on Salem Rescue Training Night, but I can
Oh.
work around that.
Okay, well, we can also move them.
I can work around it easier than we can do that probably.
Okay.
Now, a question I had, are these not the exact same nights as the fire commission, our meeting?
It's the fourth Thursday. I do
Okay.
believe the fire commission did the third.
Third, okay, okay,
It's the Thursday before their meeting.
gotcha,
Yeah, fire chief's meeting. We did that purposely.
okay.
Okay. Do we need to vote on this?
The
Okay.
motion, second, and a
I'll
vote.
Michael Smith, make a motion, we accept the dates for upcoming calendar year.
Okay, I'll second it. All those in favor, please raise hands. Okay, that's passed. Region reports,
Sir,
1 and 3.
approval of minutes? Approval of the minutes from the last meeting.
Okay.
Is that-
Oh, thank you. Approval of the minutes. Everyone has received the copy and read the minutes? Okay. Do I hear a motion to approve the minutes?
Tammy Wilbanks, make a motion to approve the minutes from the last meeting.
And a second?
Michael Smith, second.
All those in favor, raise your right hand, please. Oh, unanimous? Okay. Region 1, Vera, I know you're new, this is your first night.
Yeah, I can say I didn't hear much back from Rescue 3. I tried to get in touch with Diane, so I don't have much on them. Rescue 1, I can say we've got a ton of stuff going on. I think we're up to 19 members officially, with 2 coming on board here shortly. Paperwork's in the works, need physicals and all that, but we've got our Epi and Narcan training done. We've got tons of stuff on order for revamp and resupply, and we have a lot of renovations going on in the buildings, and we have a lighting job that we're gonna redo on the Tahoe. So lots of good stuff going
Super.
on.
Sounds great. Yes, certainly, you Rescue 1 answering every call, so.
Yep,
That's
I don't
good.
think we've missed one.
Takes pressure off Fire Station 7 too.
Yes,
Good.
very much so.
And a lot of your members are EMTs and paramedics, I think.
Yeah, we have several
Yep,
paramedics,
that's
so
great.
that's been really
That's
great.
great. Okay, is that it?
That's all I
Thank
have.
you. Tammy?
Rescue 2, everything going well. We've had the Epi and Narcan training. Mike Carroll did that early December. Fixing to have 10 go through refresher for EMR. 1 new member coming on, and going to be taking the next EMR course that comes up. Had a conflict with this one. Have not heard anything back from Rescue 6. So,
Okay. And Michael?
I have not spoken with, Mr. Tatum, prior to this meeting. Rescue 5 done the Epi and Narcan training back in, I think it's December is when Mike did that.
Yeah.
Got 2 in EMR refresher now, and we got a couple helping with the current EMR that's going on. We're rocking along pretty good.
Okay. And Eric spoke to me today about their members of Rescue 22 are worrying about what their aim is and what their purpose is. They seem to be running into that since they respond with a municipality, that most of the time, if not all the time, the municipality gets there first, and EMT level people take patient care all the time, and their members feel that the only thing they do is direct traffic. So he's concerned and wants some help from us as to how to proceed, what their options are. And we'll be discussing that in the future. I know that Chief Director Crine pointed out to them a few months ago that they should be responding outside of Kiwi Key down into Fire Station 11's area. And they haven't been, and there was some type of mix-up with the CAD system not toning them to those calls. And I think that once that's fixed and they start going to those types of calls, they'll be able to use their skills and feel good about their training and their purpose. That's all I have with that. With Rescue 7 and 8, we have a lot of members. Unfortunately, we don't have a lot of members responding to calls. I'm hoping that it's because of COVID. I'm hoping that will improve. We've joined forces with the sheriff's dive team and welcomed them into the county dive team. So we'll be training together and going to calls together will be taking over their equipment and maintaining it and bringing it up to par. I think we got 3 additional members. We already had a couple of members who were already on the dive team, the sheriff's dive team. We've been getting lots of calls, especially Yellow Branch. Same old people wearing flip-flops. The dive team has not gotten a lot of calls, which is nice, especially this time of year. And that completes that. Director Crime wanted the rescue chiefs to submit names and narratives for us to consider for Member of the Year. Should that be done in private? Since personnel matter? What do you think, Tammy?
I mean, I don't think that is I wouldn't think that's a commission meeting thing. I would think that is a private matter. What do you think?
In the
And
past,
what are
when
you,
we've,
well, I mean,
Because that is a surprise
It's a
to the
surprise
person
type
who
thing,
gets
so.
it.
It's
Yeah.
a member of the year, so I would think that wouldn't have to be.
oh, so they don't, yeah,
Yeah,
I
would think
wouldn't
that
do
would
it.
be a private thing,
it would be,
yeah.
okay.
Because it's not something you're voting on or anything like that, so yeah, I would think you could do that in private.
Okay,
But you can't
we've done
have
it
more
that way
than
in the
2
past.
constitute a quorum.
Yeah, now she brings up the point of quorum.
You know that like only 2 of you can talk at a time, like you can't like all, that would constitute a quorum, which would constitute a meeting.
I'm sorry, I can't hear you.
If you have, so only 2 people can talk at a time, because if it's 2 or more, then that would constitute a quorum.
Right,
And you can't do that, so you can talk here as long as it's on the agenda, but you can't talk, like, you can't go over to the side and 3 of you guys talk about business, because that would constitute a quorum. You see what I'm saying? So that's
how
why
did they handle it when they go into executive session?
they have it on the agenda as executive session.
So,
Postpone it till next
so it's
month.
not on there.
Postpone it till next month.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, can we postpone it till next month? Let's do that, so we can get it on the agenda properly.
Just table it and let us speak with Mr. Root on that, I guess.
if you table it though, if you table it and you don't talk about it, if it's not brought up at the next meeting, then that would actually, it would be off the table if you table it. So if you just say, you know, we want to postpone this, and you can make a motion to postpone is fine until, you know, what is it, March? No, February. Do you want to put it on the February meeting? Then I would just postpone this item until the February, I would just put February meeting, February rescue meeting, unless y'all already know the date. And that way you
Okay.
can bring it up. But if you want this as an executive session item, then you would have to put that on the agenda.
Okay, we'll do
And
that.
I can work with you on that, or work with Vivian or whoever.
Thank you. Okay, should we vote on that?
Yeah, vote to do it next month.
Okay, would anyone like to make a motion to table that for next month's meeting?
Just postpone it, not table it.
Okay, postpone.
Michael Smith, make a motion, we postpone the review of submissions for Rescue Squad Member of the Year until our February meeting.
In a second.
Is there a second?
That's second.
Thank you.
And now all in favor?
All in favor, raise your right hand, please. Okay,
Perfect.
okay. Planning Committee, committee reports. Michael, have that?
I have nothing to report.
Okay, good. And Radio Communications Committee. We've been meeting once a month. We met this morning again. I think we're moving along. We're about this week to send a letter out to all the fire and rescue chiefs outlining the radio plan talking about what radios should be purchased for mobiles and portables. Getting the radios programmed. Looking at possible additional sites for either repeaters or voting receivers. And I think we're making good progress. The deadline that we're looking at to go into operation, full operation with this new system is January 1st of 2022. I forget anything, Michael?
No, sir.
Oh, thank you. Tammy, training committee?
We've met a couple of times since our last commission meeting. And we're getting together a plan of how to do some continuing education classes, sort of on the same lines as what they're doing for the EMTs. Cannot do it with the EMTs. Are you going to talk about that some more,
Yeah,
Mike, in a
we'll do
minute? We have gotten, I requested a copy of each squad's training calendar for the year, and I've gotten that from several of those, and looking to see where we can maybe do some, like if I miss training at my squad, I can go somewhere else to do that. So looking at getting that put together hopefully soon, and may not be able to get it in play this year, but hopefully soon.
Are most of the squads using action training, do you know?
Some are not, more not, I think, than they are.
I don't have a firm number on that right now.
Okay. Okay. Good. Is that all you have? Mm-hmm. Thank you. Okay, command structure. With the new director's position and the new fire chief's position and the director of EMS for the county, we were wondering what the command structure was as far as who answers to who and who do we go to for what and things like that.
So, Emergency Services Director is Chief Bryant. Fire Chief, Mr. Larry Greer, took over beginning of the month. He'll handle all the fire stations. And then you have myself and Scott Smith handling rescue side. I'm doing mostly all the rescue squads, 1 through 22, hazmat, and 7 and 8. Scott Smith will be your point of contact for those.
Okay. Anyone have any questions?
Can you repeat that one more time? What Scott Smith?
Scott Smith will be your hazmat and special rescue dive. And then I'll have rescues 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 22.
Thank you.
I guess my question is not necessarily command structure, but organizational chart. Several years ago, we created a huge stink in this county and decided to join fire and rescue under one organization. Everything kind of fell under one person. Of course, Charlie was doing dual roles. Charlie's not here anymore. And so we didn't follow through with everything that we said we were going to do on the county side as far as joining the association so that everybody had the same benefits. I'm trying to remember exactly which one it was. Keith May can help me here. But it was to prevent anything happening to other members that happened to Bob Kinder. So for some reason that got dropped and not everybody was part of the firefighter association to receive those benefits. But the way the command structure and the organizational chart was established everybody answered to one individual, because we were one organization. So kind of the question that has come up with a few folks is, if we're pulling out from answering to one individual on the fire side, or maybe who you answer to, I'm not really sure, are we still one complete organization, or have we split fire and rescue back apart?
You're still one organization under emergency services, which is Director Prime. And then breaking it down, span of control, you have municipalities which are in, I'm gonna pull this down some,
Yeah, because I can't.
which are covered under our own fire districts, our own fire chiefs. Rural fire chiefs who fall under the county fire chief. Rural rescue squads who will fall under me and hazmat and the special rescue teams under Captain Smith, Chief Smith.
So those folks still have the same opportunity to join in?
Yes.
To get the benefit? Okay. Thank you, sir.
We're all still emergency services. Just when you had a fire chief who was dual-hatted, kind of. You had battalion chiefs who were working shift work, who were trying to handle EMS and some of the other avenues. It was hard to provide the service to the volunteers who couldn't wait 3 days to get an answer, or the gentleman who was filling the job on one of their days off. So this is to get those duties till Monday through Friday, who can deal with everybody and the problems as they arrive daily.
Understood. Thank you. I can answer that question now.
Is there a way to find out what members have not been included in the association list?
Yes, and that comes down to the quarterly rosters coming in and everybody getting their personnel on them. And as soon as, and the main thing is redoing the paperwork. Still, some people are not forwarding, or some departments are not forwarding the paperwork down to Cindy at Emergency Services so we can get the background checks done, get them on, just a piece of paper to give a name with, so we can get back the right paperwork for all the county paperwork that has to be done with HR to get them properly covered with HR benefits for workman's comp and everything else. So we're trying to streamline that. And there's gonna be some changes to that to make it a lot easier. But then we can check the quarterly rosters to make sure that we have an up-to-date roster of who, you know, who's affiliated with us. Not just under the fire, portal, but also continuum for people, well, under DHEC, new continuum, which is coming out as image trends. But make sure everybody's properly documented in both the fire portal webpage for Firemen Association and also for DHEC, for EMS.
Regarding the quarterly rosters that get turned in, I only learned yesterday that we're supposed to email them in an Excel format, not hand them in. News to me.
Okay, that went out, that should have went out in the emails when they sent out the first one.
Okay.
I know Chief Crine talked about that.
Okay.
That you can, once you have it, we have the form, we update it, we send it back out to the chiefs, and then who they designate, who updates it for them and sends it back.
Okay.
That's what we're trying to do to make it streamlined.
Question about something you said before. Fire station 3, 12, and 14 that are also rescue squads. Where do they fall under?
Well, since they're fire stations, they fall under fire.
Okay.
However, an EMS component of them still has to report to this organization too,
So that falls under you, right?
for EMS purposes, yes.
Right. Okay.
So, and I guess that's where we're all kind of going, Mike, is just for years, we've tried to do away with a double standard of, and it's what has hurt some of these rescue squads. And actually, most of us are on both sides of the fence here. But we could leave a rescue squad and go to a fire department and run medical calls with a third of the training that is required for a rescue squad. So we're trying to get to a standard that they have to meet the exact same training standard as the rescue squads do. So that was where I was kind of going with the organizational chart, command structure is, so that we don't have two chiefs per se arguing back and forth on whose standard is going to be the ultimate deadline or goal here, And that's something we can discuss later, but that's kind of where a lot of the questions are coming from.
I got you.
I'm
And a lot of
assuming,
this is meant to be able to give you that point of contact to answer these questions.
Yeah.
I'm
It's
assuming
not, I
that,
mean, we're all still one organization under emergency services under Oconee County.
Okay.
So,
I'm assuming that Tammy's group is gonna be taking care of a lot of that too, with the standards,
And training.
right?
I hope so.
Cool.
not just these rules, but also state rules for
Yeah.
being a responding unit in this county under DHEC, under a license, which we hope.
Okay. Thank you. MSA respirators. We have, at Rescue 5, have switched to these respirators that are very comfortable and much cooler to breathe in. And the filters filter out 100% as opposed to 95% for N95s, which I guess is the next best type of respirator. Their cost is, per member is $35. Plus a filter, 2 filters, and they are $16 for 2 filters. And the filters are recommended to last a year, or if breathing becomes difficult, change them. And I believe that with the amount of use they're gonna get running rescue calls, they'll probably last a year. In order to be extra safe, Rescue 5 has decided to automatically change the filters every 6 months. So, for $47, we can provide our responders with quite a good protection from COVID. I believe that the hospital here and Pickens County also uses these when they go into a possible COVID call. So, pass it around if you haven't seen these.
Mr. Chairman, just
Yes, ma'am. Yes,
to
sir.
remind everybody that you still have need to do a fit test for those.
Absolutely.
And also, they should be kept in some kind of safe enclosure when they're not in use to keep them from getting damaged.
We give out Velcro bags with them that are made for SCBA masks. That's $14. I should have read that out. We also buy 100 towelettes for decontamination, which are $26 per 100. So we give, 10 or 15 to each member, and he can come back and get others when he wants. And that's the total investment. We have one size of each mask used for sizing. If anybody would like to borrow them or do whatever, we'll be very happy to share. I forget anything, Michael?
No.
Any questions? Okay. There are changing coming for the ID, photo ID cards. I don't exactly know what the changes will be. That hasn't been decided yet. But they will be good for only a year rather than 2 years like we used to do. They will parallel the dates of someone's physical. And that is in case a physical lowers a person's activity level, they won't have a card that says they're high level when they shouldn't be. They may be going to different colors representing different levels. That all hasn't been decided yet. But we are doing the 1 year now. So when, I guess we have to find a better way of people being able to track when their cards are a month or so before expiring, so they can make appointments for their physical and get it done before the card expires. I understand that we're going to be getting to a point where if you don't have a current ID on scene, you're going to be asked to leave the scene, and that's for liability purposes.
So ERS does allow you to put your physical data in there, and we've been updating out with everybody's physical data.
Yes.
And the chiefs who have, can set a certain report issue, and it comes up on the first screen when they open up ERS, it can tell them when their personnel at their station are due for a physical.
That would be great.
So,
Since we've been giving everybody 13 months instead of 12 for an expiration time, Scott's idea in that was so that people have an extra month to get their physical.
right, because of,
So, you know,
getting the scheduling by the time sometimes you
sure.
fall in the month of February or, I'm sorry, December, where
Yep.
a lot of numbers, holidays, that stuff, where the time to get that physical will give you time to plan ahead, get your physical, plus or minus a month.
Okay. The new financial reports. The county has instituted a new format for doing the quarterly financial reports. I guess Director Crine will come to a point where he says that everyone has to be on board by a certain date. And that hasn't been decided yet, but we resist change. The new system is really easy. We've been doing it at Rescue 5 and Rescue 7 and 8 for, I guess, a year and a half now. And if anybody wants to jump the gun and raise their hand to start using this new system and getting trained to use it, it would be a good time, instead of waiting for the last minute. If anyone is curious about what it looks like and how it works, just let me know, and I'll be happy to send you examples of actual reports that we've done and some of the paperwork that you have to use in order to generate the reports. The COVID-19 vaccine is available. I hope everyone makes use of it. Testing has changed. We're no longer doing testing at headquarters. If you go over to the health department in Seneca and go in there, you can get 5 tests per week, take home and submit that way. You have to have 5 names and 5 date of births, but you can do that every week. And it seems like they're getting the results back quickly. Do you know how quickly they're doing it, Mike?
No, sir, I don't.
Okay, I don't either, but
It's just, if it's a quick test, once you take the swab, they can have it back in 15, 20 minutes. If it's the one laboratory test, it's up to sometimes 48 hours.
I'm about to try my first one, so, and they're free. So, let your members know. Okay. Director Carroll's report.
Hey, good evening, everybody. Like everybody's mentioned, I've been doing the EpiPen and Narcan program for the first responders. This is to get these drugs out. I just got them in, and I'll be contacting each of the chiefs to set up delivery of some of this stuff. I actually was able to skip through from going to a regular one of the medical suppliers and going straight to the manufacturer of the Narcan and cutting the price by almost a quarter.
Wow.
So, and the expiration dates are much longer than we were getting from most of the medical supply companies. The bad side of that, there's been no change in EpiPens. EpiPens are still running about $525 to $550 for a pack of 2. Good news, EMTs and above, we're gonna start hitting out, along with everybody again, current AHA, CPR, BLS, current associated under Continuum or affiliated under us, and the new one, which is Image Trends. And I wish I had more data on that, but the Continuum site that DHEC had for monitoring EMTs and all the reporting has changed to a new one called Image Trends. I'm going through a class with that real soon, and I'll have more probably on, that'll be on the agenda for next meeting. We are working, I already worked with the ERS to get that, our reporting shifted to them automatically like it was in Continuum. You did a PCR, it automatically went. Like that with EMT skills, we're gonna go back, EpiKits are still gonna be out in the field for EMTs and above. And these are not gonna be on the units, they're gonna be assigned to the EMTs as much as possible, because there's not a lot of squads with multiple EMTs. If there's certain units that stay that while, it's up to the chief to maintain them. They'll be sending me weekly to monthly checks off. Probably start weekly, then we'll move to monthly check off on equipment on these units. But that's hitting the field, be given a lot more, things that our EMTs, who are in a lot of places, are getting there 10, 15 minutes before the medics can do to help our citizens in the county, especially in the far out sites, portions of the county. Update on EMS training. Ms. Wilbanks told us, the training committee is doing great things. They've been meeting. We got a lot of good thoughts, putting it together, getting it to the chiefs. This way, everybody's time is at a premium now. So, getting required training for some who are doing fire, some are doing EMS, some are doing both. Well, give you the option where, and make it available for you to get these classes that are needed. Just, you can run 50 calls a month or run 1 call a month. You still need to do continuing education. Making these sites available, we're split it up by region, so that you miss one of the good hands-on skill classes, you can make it up the next month at the next closest rescue squad. Fire departments, training, they still need to get their hourly training in for the year. This allow for the fire units who are doing the primary medical responses for their areas to also take it in with their closest rescue squads to get some of this hands-on required EMS training. Any questions on any of this?
Mike, could you compare the savings on the EPI between the auto injector and the drawing?
Oh,
a lot.
EpiPens, like I said, are 2 single dose, for $550, just say $550. For a box of 2, that's for 2 different EMTs gonna have that, or EMRs, or EMTs. By having the Epi program, we're gonna be providing Epi out to 10 EMTs for $250. So, it's double the savings.
Just to give you an idea, I got a kit recently from Mike, which had the Epi and the Narcan and needles and syringes, and it came to $148 for everything, which is a heck of a saving.
Plus your other EMT drugs.
Yeah.
So, not just the or Epi, Narcan,
Yeah.
dextrose, nitro, so,
Aspirin,
all the good stuff.
all good stuff.
So, like I said, in order to get all this stuff, they're gonna have to maintain all their certs and continuing education.
Okay.
Is back on the, COVID vaccine and testing and that kind of stuff, is the county doing any paperwork tracking like we do with HPV and all that stuff to make sure that people sign they don't want this stuff, they do want this stuff? Do we care?
No, sir.
Okay.
That's been completely, we took everybody's roster and submitted it to the VAM sites. And everybody who was provided on their individual squads, or fire squads, all across the board, squad and fire, and special rescue. Everybody's email that we had was submitted to the VAMs, and they should have got notification at least almost 3 to 4 weeks ago.
Oh, yeah.
And that was notified through the fire chiefs and the chiefs to let their members know, and also via active that this was coming. Some people have thought, no, I'm not gonna do it. That's fine, it's your personal decision. It's not a requirement. If you wanna come back and have it now, there is a long line. However, when you're trying to go on board, there's a DHEC site. You go to it, it shows you where, and it hits a map, you put in your zip code, and it pulls up a map what's closest around and all the sites. And you can choose Prisma, the Walgreens, the Ingalls, anywhere around to get these. And sign up on your own now. If you do, for some reason, get a cancellation, and this just recently happened at the Prisma site, people are due for some of their first and some for their second doses. Way I was told was Prisma had to completely run out before they could order more. So by the time they got the next batch in, the people on Monday were canceled. So they had to, you'll get a cancellation notice, and then you'll be asked to make another appointment. You'll have to do that to make another appointment to get in there.
That happened to me for my second shot, but when I went in to make another appointment, they just gave me the next day.
And that site is why I helped, Mr. Hart today, one of the commissioners, and he was having an issue with it. And we finally got it in there, and he got an appointment for the 3rd. But it's weird how we had one map come up and said, or one time slot came up and said it was available today at 11 o'clock. When I clicked it for him, it was already gone. So, as soon as you see these spots come open, the sooner the better. Remember, it's 21 days for your second dose for the Pfizer, plus or minus 4 days.
They
So,
did start doing walk-ins for everyone who's 70 years and older, which is why the appointments are getting canceled and they're running out faster than they're anticipating, because they are taking walk-ins of the older population now, so.
They were at least 5 times more busy yesterday than they were for my first shot.
And they're supposed to, Rosa Clark,
Correct, Rosa Clark, and then team members as well as first responders, all who fall into that category can go into the conference room on the first floor. So there's different sites for different people, but the same allotment is still going to this Prisma, so.
Be patient. Some people who are not as tech savvy as others, remember you must use the most up-to-date browsers out there. Google Chrome, Safari, Firefox, everything that's most up-to-date. Before you open an email, try to go to your computer and update it, or your iPhone or Android and update it with the most up-to-date servers, browsers. And that's it, unless you have any questions.
Thank you, Mike. Anyone have anything else? Okay. Anyone want to make a motion to adjourn?
I'll make a motion with you, Michael Smith.
Tammy would like a second.
All in favor? Show by raising your right hand. Okay.